What's up?
Good day, YouTube. We're back for another one, and today we're going to be talking about my tier list that is not a tier list. And I'll be your host, the one, the only, Lefty Knox. And there were two champions that were added this year, or this last month. Sorry for my tier list being a little late, got caught up on other things, but we're going to be talking about the legend himself, Wiccan, and the other legend, which is Hulkling. Almost said Wiccan in speed. I'm still caught on WandaVision, so excuse me today. So first up, let's talk about Wiccan. This guy is pretty great, actually. I actually enjoyed him. Like, he has some very unique abilities. He's a mystic champion, and he has physical resistance. He has immunity to reverse controls and armor break due to his mastery over the arcane arts. When struck by true damage, instantly gain plus 40% bar power. If inflicted with a concussion or disorient debuff from a science champion, one personal passive or debuff which causes by Wiccan is removed. And well-timed blocks inflict a non-stacking neutralized debuff of 100% potency that lasts 10 seconds. When the opponent ability failed due to reduced ability accuracy or Wiccan or personal immunities, inflict a incinerate debuff, reducing block proficiency by 50%, dealing 2,000 plus energy damage over 10 seconds. I gotta admit, like, this is a pretty, I like his playstyle. It kind of reminds me, like, he's like the mystic version of a little bit of Shang-Chi because of his playstyle. Because in order to activate his spells, like for example, you want to activate the shield, you got to dash back and hold block for 1.2 seconds. Now you can stack this one. This is a spell you can stack. For his flame, you got to do medium, light, medium, and you get you activate his flame spell. For his silence, you got to do medium, light, and it activates for 5 seconds. And then the arcane theft, which you got to do a heavy with. And with his abilities, you can actually inflict a plasma on the opponent. And in my personal opinion, playing him wasn't all that complicated. And if you look at my tier list, that is not a tier list, I got him right here under oh, I don't know what happened there. I got him under account changing plug and play, because I don't think he needs to be awakened. Don't get me wrong, his awaken ability is really interesting. If he's awakened, your resistance up also allows Wiccan to become unblockable attacks, or to block unblockable attacks from cosmic champions. And so Hercules, you're out of there. If the opponent is shock immune, shocks turn into degeneration with the same potency and duration, but counts as shocks for Wiccan's other abilities. So Doom, you're out of there. And incinerate effects have a 6 to 50% chance to not consume shock debuffs when creating a plasma. So if you do awaken him, he does need high sig, but not necessarily. He doesn't really need to be awakened. He's perfectly fine unawakened. So overall, I think Wiccan is a solid champion. I mean, you can play him regularly, but if you want to activate his spells, he might have a little bit of complicated playstyle for the newer players in the game, but he's a perfectly good champion. I'll give him a solid 8 out of 10. Next up, we're going to be discussing this guy right here. And if you obviously look at my tier list, it's obvious that I'm going to be talking about Hulkling, and I got him on the plug and play. Hulkling, I gotta admit, he was my favorite champion released last year. Like, I love his playstyle. He gains a lot of buffs. And like, he has a very unique ability where he, like, if he hits into your block, he activates the I think it's Pierce, and every 5 Pierce gain also grants him an unblockable buff for 5 seconds, reduce to every 3 buffs when fighting as a defender. So I think he's going to be good for battlegrounds, and I also think he's just going to be good in general because he has a regeneration. And every 8 generated buffs grants him an indestructible buff for 2.5 seconds, reduced to 5 buffs when fighting as a defender. So he goes indestructible frequently. He gains so many buffs. I can't even remember how many buffs he gains. I know he gains the Pierce, he gains the Bulwark. I don't think I'm saying that right. He gains regeneration, he gains aptitude, and like if you activate a special 3 attack, it'll become permanent, I believe. Let's see, let's look at this SP3. If Hulkling has at least 2 Bulwark safe-lifting buff, pause 2 of them for the remainder of the fight. So you can pause 2 buffs for the remainder of a fight. What I usually do, like when I'm fighting with Hulkling, I actually don't block because I don't want to Bulwark. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. I actually don't want that buff. I actually prefer the aptitude or the pierce, and you can pause them for the remainder of the fight. And any other buff you get out there is increased because of the aptitude buff. I think Hulkling is definitely the better of the two. And he's just a solid all-around champion. Now, don't get me wrong, I easily took him down with Ronin because of all the buffs he gets. And please exclude the thunder. It's raining over here, so please bear with me. But he's a solid champion with the regeneration, with the indestructible, with the aptitude, with the pierce, like hitting into the block, and you can actually make the defender passive by I think it's a heavy. You put on an intimidation, which causes the defender to actually block, and you can actually hit into his block and gain more pierce. There's so many different ways you can play him. And if you look at my tier list, you clearly, I see him. I got him under account changing plug and play. I think he will be good for the damage masteries because of his indestructible and his regeneration, and he will also be good for incursions because of the pierce and the aptitude buff. So I think he's a solid champion. I give him a 9 out of 10. Like, solid all-around champion. We also had a buff this month, and it was Thor Jane Foster. And to be honest, she's a good champion, but her buff didn't really do much for her attack value. So I left her under War Defender, and I think she does need to be awakened to really take advantage of her abilities. So yeah, I'm gonna leave her right where she was. I don't think her buff actually did anything to help her or move her around on my tier list that is not a tier list. So again, Wiccan, solid 8 out of 10. Hulkling, solid 9 out of 10. Wiccan, account changing plug and play, doesn't need to be awakened. And you could awaken Hulkling if you want to. His awaken ability, I don't think he really needs to be awakened. Personal bulwark duration is increased to 4 seconds. Personal fury duration is increased to 3 seconds. Armor penetration for each, you gain up to 550 armor penetration for each active buff or active personal pierce buff. So yeah, again, he doesn't need to be awakened, but every awakened ability almost helps out every champion in the game. So yeah, but yeah, those are my thoughts on Wiccan, Hulkling, and Thor Jane Foster. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. So for anyone new here, you can hit that like button, and for anyone that's maybe new here, also hit that subscribe button. So, and like I always say, you guys stay safe, wear your mask, and I'm gonna catch y'all in the next video. Y'all take care and have a great and wonderful night.